residents in China's financial hub say they're going hungry. Many people have been unable to leave their homes to buy food since late March. That's because Shanghai officials began a citywide lockdown to tame the country's biggest COVID-19 outbreak in the past 2 years. Some residents have also taken to social media to complain.
It has prompted a lot of people in Shanghai to ask, is this the right policy? Is the cost of this lockdown too great?
As authorities try to tame the fast-spreading Omicron variant, the growing public discontent could challenge Beijing's commitment to its dynamic zero-COVID policy. Shanghai officials have acknowledged its strategy of lockdowns, mass tests, and quarantines has made it difficult for tens of thousands of families to secure food. So they've rolled out a massive effort to deliver necessities. Local officials said there were around 11,000 couriers on the job, and delivery companies had about 100,000 other workers. Volunteers have also been going door to door to deliver other supplies, including medicine. Plus, people from across the country have been pitching in, including from as far as Xinjiang, where workers package bread for residents. There's also fresh vegetables coming from Shanghai's neighboring province. But some residents have said that they're not getting enough food from these deliveries.
There are some people who are doing okay, but there's also unquestionably people who are living on basically the barest minimum of food with no protein and very little in terms of quantity.
For instance, a family of 2 received this package from the government on the second day of the lockdown. The father and daughter said it was all consumed in about 4 days, and the next delivery came about 2 weeks later. So to feed themselves, some people are getting up as early as 6 a.m. to place an order on grocery delivery apps, at a time when supplies are more likely to be available.
加油，老公，加油，加油，加油.
This man's wife recorded him using a massage gun to help him more quickly hit the pay button to get his order through before others. Some residents have teamed up with neighbors to buy in bulk.
We've got over 150 parcels in here. We ordered for the whole building again.
Or they're bartering with each other. The struggle to get food has sparked anger in some communities. This video was posted on Weibo, China's equivalent of Twitter, and it was later taken down. It shows local police trying to contain a crowd of people. Weibo didn't respond to a request for comment. These food shortages have largely stemmed from the city's strict COVID restrictions, which have confined many of the city's food delivery workers at home, and some have chosen not to work for fear of getting sick. Also, for new supplies to enter the city, truck drivers need to test negative.
Once you come into the city and you've delivered your supplies, it's not clear if you can necessarily get into the neighboring province to be able to pick up another run of supplies because the authorities won't necessarily allow you into the province because you've just come from a high-risk zone.
Shanghai officials have pledged to do better.
努力解决采配效率不高的问题。
However, the anxiety of not having enough to eat is raising some collective memories from China's famine about 5 decades ago.
China's modern history has had a lot of instances of deprivation and of quite serious lack of access to food. This is a 21st century twist on that, but it has reminded people of the importance of having stockpiles.
And the situation in Shanghai has prompted some people in other cities to prepare for the worst. On Weibo, the topic, "What to prepare if I suddenly receive a quarantine notice," has attracted more than 200 million views. And Chinese state media published this diagram, which outlines the items you need to prepare to stay at a quarantine center. Even though Shanghai officials announced that they have lifted some measures despite record cases, people have started to question more than just the government's handling of the food shortage.
希望能够有个更清楚的一个流程，让我知道，比如说我们的疫情拐点大概什么时候会出现，我这样的隔离生活什么时候能有盼头。
There is a great degree of dissatisfaction about whether or not it's the wisest way to deal with this challenge, this dynamic zero COVID policy of really just trying to eradicate the virus every time they see it anywhere within China. If it ends up overwhelming Shanghai, it's going to challenge that idea that China's government has been more successful than the rest of the world at containing COVID.
But the experience in Shanghai hasn't prompted any indication from Beijing that it's ready to rethink its COVID strategy. The head of China's COVID-19 response task force said its dynamic zero COVID policy was scientific and would bring maximum results. So with little sign that Beijing is willing to adjust its pandemic strategy, some residents have taken to their balconies to shout encouragement and hope that the lockdown ends soon.